Today, I will be reviewing It Chapter 2. Let me just tell you right off the bat, I absolutely love It Chapter 2. I think it is a great sequel. Now, I'm fine if some people like it or some people hate it, it's fine. But my personal opinion, I think it's just a great sequel to, well, the 2017 It movie. Now, of course, I do love the 2017 It movie. I think it was a great first film, but I do like the second one also as well. Because, I don't know, the second, It Chapter 2 movie goes all over the place. And let me just tell you, this movie is just so long. This movie is seriously just 2 hours and 49 minutes, which is just so ridiculous. So you know it's just gonna be crazy when I review this movie. Also, this movie was originally going to be 4 hours long, but they had to cut out some of the scenes because, well, some people would be exhausted watching a 4-hour movie. I probably agree, but I wouldn't mind if this movie were to be 4 hours long. But if this movie was 4 hours, it would be really hard to review this movie. Then the movie review would probably have to be split into 2 parts if this movie was 4 hours long. But I can't believe I'm gonna say this, but this video should just most likely be one video, even if it's just 2 hours and 49 minutes. It's so ridiculous, but I guess I'm just gonna have to torture myself filming this movie. Even if I clearly like this movie. But basically, the plot is with the Losers Club coming back as grown-ups and 27 years later. Because, well, they kind of did get Pennywise as soon as he fell into the sewers, but of course he went into hibernation, and he's going after the Losers Club again in Derry. And yes, some of the Losers Club members did leave Derry, but they will come back by Mike Hanlon calling them, so they can stop Pennywise once and for all. So they're basically grown-ups 27 years later, the Losers Club. And of course, Pennywise is just gonna get a bunch of kids again, because Pennywise is just absolutely crazy in this movie, as much as he was in the first movie. But anyways, enough of me just having a long intro for literally 2 minutes. Let me just film this movie. Review. The movie begins with young Beverly Marsh looking straight into the deadlights. Spooky! Apparently, we get a flashback to, well, September 1989, when the Losers Club were kids. If you like lots of flashbacks, well, you're gonna get a lot of flashbacks in this movie. It is now finally 27 years later, where the Losers Club are all grown up now. And, well, the Losers Club, when they're grown up, it's just basically the year 2016, which is, well, 27 years later from, well, 1989. We now get to see a bunch of these, well, 2 people, Don and Adrian, who apparently are just chilling at a carnival, and apparently he's winning a beaver hat, a dairy beaver hat for, I don't know, the carnival or something. Yeah, I don't really know, but I think they're pretty cool characters to start off this movie. But what sucks about this movie is that there are a bunch of bullies just going to harass Don and Adrian. Man, that sucks. The bullies throw Adrian's body over a river as Don is just scared as heck. Oh, and apparently Adrian is drowning, but turns out Adrian gets to see Pennywise, which is absolutely creepy. Oh my god. Turns out Pennywise has Adrian the whole time, and, well, Don thinks he's just gonna save him, but this is Pennywise we're talking about, so you know Pennywise is gonna raise up those teeth and just munch on, well, Adrian's chest, which is just absolutely crazy. Oh my god, this is an insane opening scene. We now finally get to see Mike Hanlon as a grown-up. Mike now is at the incident of what happened to Adrian Mellon, and he knows that Pennywise is back since it's 27 years later. So you know what Mike has to do. Call all of the other Losers Club members so they can come back to Derry and stop Pennywise once and for all. And that is exactly what Mike does. We now get to see grown-up Bill Denbrough, who apparently is an author making a movie. Or should I say that, well, his book he's making is being turned into a movie. And apparently the movie is run by Warner Brothers. Heck yeah! Turns out everybody hates the ending of Bill's book, including his wife, Andra. Well, dang, that must have to suck, that his own wife has to dislike his book. Well, at least the ending of it, so, yeah. We now get to see Eddie Kasprak, which, well, is the grown-up version, of course, who is apparently in New York City, just driving his car. Eddie Kaspbrak is played by James Ranson, and you're probably wondering, why the heck am I saying that? Well, I'm saying that is because, well, the actor who played Eddie Kaspbrak tragically passed away in December of 2025. I just wanted to mention it because, well, I got a chance to introduce the character he's playing. It sucks that James Ranson passed away, and it just really shocked me. But I don't want to talk about it for that long because otherwise it just might get a little too emotional. But rest in peace to James Ranson, and at least we get to see him play Eddie in this movie, so that's nice. We also do get to see Richie Tozier in Chicago, and not gonna lie, he's absolutely funny in this movie. I mean, this guy cannot stand just saying curse words all the time. And it's just so, like, it's just so funny. Richie is just one of my favorite characters because he's just the goofy character, at least in this movie. He's just so goofy. We also get to see grown-up Ben Hanscom in this movie, who apparently is just talking with a bunch of people on, like, a computer because it's, like, a job or business thing. Yeah, I don't really know, but I guess that sounds really interesting. We also get to see Stanley Uris in this movie, who apparently is just making a puzzle full of birds. Because if you watch the miniseries, then you know Stanley in the miniseries just loved to, I don't know, go bird watching, which is really interesting. Oh yeah, and apparently Stanley is now in a bathtub thinking if he should come back to Derry, but turns out he's just too scared to go back to Derry, because ever since he was a kid, he was just so scared of, well, Pennywise and just everything, so he doesn't want to go back to Derry. So yeah, turns out it's already too late for Stanley, because he dies in a way which I do not even want to talk about, but I'm pretty sure you can guess how he dies. It's a sad moment, and I absolutely feel bad for Stanley, so rest in peace to Stanley. We also get to see Beverly Marsh in this movie, who apparently is now a grown-up, just remembering about Derry and everything that is happening, since, well, she did get a call from Mike Hanlon. Turns out Beverly also has to deal with a really abusive husband, just like her father, which sucks. But she eventually divorces the husband, which is just, well, really good for her. Now all of the Losers Club can go to Derry, well, except for Stan, because, well, Stan's dead. We now get to see grown-up Henry Bowers, who is now in an asylum. And turns out Henry has been in, well, this asylum for 27 years. And he has been in this asylum because, well, of the murder of his dad, which is just absolutely crazy. As you know, he got his dad with that knife in the first, well, It Chapter 1 movie, which is just crazy. But turns out Pennywise is, well, now communicating with Henry Bowers with a balloon, which just makes Henry Bowers smile or something. Jeez, Henry Bowers, you're just crazy. Oh my god, I almost dropped my camera. Embarrassing! Henry gets a visit from zombie Patrick Hockstatter, who, yes, was indeed, well, a regular human in It Chapter 1, who was, well, Henry Bowers' real-life friend when he was a teenager. And apparently the zombie Patrick Hockstatter is giving Henry Bowers his, well, knife from 1989. Oh no, I gotta say, but this is some pretty bad news. Now Henry Bowers is just gonna be crazier than ever. Oh boy. Bill and the other losers make their way into a really cool-looking Chinese restaurant, which is just absolutely amazing. And of course, like expected, they do reunite with each other. And, well, some quite awkward scenes, because, you know, Richie just has to pop some jokes there and there, so yeah. So, yeah, they basically have a fun time just coming up with some really funny jokes and just talking to each other. It's a really nice scene because, well, of course they get reunited, which is just absolutely cool. Mike says to the other losers that, well, Pennywise comebacks every 27 years as some sort of evil echo or something. So I guess that's what makes them all nervous and something like that. But we do get an answer from Ben who is saying, like, is Stanley coming or what? Yeah. Well, if you guys want to know the truth of what happened to Stanley, then just read the fortune cookie cards. As soon as they open up the fortune cookies, it says, guess Stanley could not cut it, which is absolutely creepy words. Turns out the fortune cookies come alive as a, well, creepy-looking baby bug, oh my god, and a bat wing, and an eyeball, yeah, this is really bad. Oh, and of course a baby duck. So yeah, after all of that fortune cookie trauma, the other Losers Club decide to leave because, well, they just can't take this nonsense anymore. Beverly decides to call Stanley's wife because she wants to know what happened to them, including the utter losers. But it's revealed by the wife's words on the phone is that, well, Stanley did die. And yes, of course, I'm not going to say how he died because it's just, well, too inappropriate to say. The others are sad that Stanley died, so they decide to go back to the library where Mike is at. Or should I say where Mike will be at, because he's not at the library yet. So, yeah. We're now at a baseball game where we get to see this little girl named Vicky who apparently is following this firefly under the bleachers, but she gets surprised by, well, Pennywise, who of course is just talking to her and just being very, 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 oh my god, how many times am I going to say very? Creepy. Turns out Pennywise, of course, just has to keep on being creepy near Vicky as she stays still. And man, let me tell you, this is just a little bit too creepy, because, like, he's literally just staring. He's just staring, of course, with his just lazy eye pointing the other way. I like that, because it makes it look way creepier, because, I don't know, I just feel like Bill Skarsgård is way creepier than, like, Tim Curry, at least in my opinion. That's why I think this Pennywise is, like, one of the best Pennywises ever in history. But of course, that's just my own opinion. But yeah, it's already too late for Vicky because, well, she dies from Pennywise. Man, that's crazy. Henry then decides to escape the asylum by riding a car with Patrick Hockstatter. Or should I say, zombie Patrick Hockstatter. Mike brings Bill to the library where Mike lives, which I guess is pretty interesting. Apparently, Mike shows an artifact that apparently he stole from this tribe called the Shaka Piwa. And if you don't know what the Shaka Piwa is, then how about you just buckle in for a ride, because, well, I'm just gonna tell you what it is. So yeah, we do get a flashback. So the Shaka Piwa tribe is basically this tribe that saw Pennywise land to the earth the first time, and apparently Mike was brought from the Shaka Piwa or something. Yeah, it's like anything makes sense from that. I don't really know. Oh yeah, flashing lights warning, by the way. Apparently, Pennywise shapeshifted into multiple things just to scare off the Shaka Piwa and make them go crazy. But apparently the Shaka Piwa became a group so they can trap the Deadlights, aka Pennywise. And apparently these Shaka Piwa people just put the Deadlights into this bottle thing or whatever just to trap Pennywise or something. I mean, I guess it's a pretty cool flashback origin of it, which I do think is pretty interesting, but it can also be pretty complicated. But if you don't understand anything I said, then I highly suggest just looking up the lore of the Deadlights or Pennywise. So, yeah. Apparently, the next day, outside, Mike tells the other Losers Club members to go ahead and split up. He says that so the other characters can find an ancient artifact or something, because, well, they must sacrifice it or something so they can stop Pennywise. So, yeah, we're gonna have a bunch of scenes where they decide to split up, so I guess that sounds interesting. Which means a bunch of the Losers Club has their, like, own segments or something. Man, it sucks that Mike doesn't get his segment. Mike was supposed to have a splitting up scene in this movie, which was him, like, checking out the burnt down building where, you know, his family died, and I wish I could see, like, him exploring that, because apparently Pennywise was just supposed to, I don't know, jump scare, like, Mike and just go on the walls or something. Yeah, I don't really know. So, yeah, I was pretty disappointed they didn't show that scene, but of course, like, this movie was originally going to be 4 hours long, and I guess that's just too much. So, yeah, moving on. Beverly is the first segment, as she gets to, well, go back to her old apartment when, you know, she was just a teenager. So yeah, apparently Mrs. Kirsch decides to let Beverly in the old apartment so she can have some memories of her past or something, and also gives Beverly some tea. Oh, that's nice. Mrs. Kirsch gives Beverly some tea, I don't know, just to be a nice person. Mrs. Kirsch also decides to stare at Beverly for quite some time, and let me just tell you, this is actually kind of creepy. I don't know why I was doing this, but I don't know. I guess I wanted to creep some people out. I don't really know why, but moving on. Mrs. Kirsch also turns into a giant witch, which looks absolutely horrifying. I'm not gonna lie, I kind of like the design of this witch. It just looks so creepy, oh my god. Beverly also gets to see Pennywise in his human form. which apparently his real name as a human is Bob Gray. And apparently the Deadlights decided to shapeshift into the Bob Gray, which, well, they decided to call him Pennywise the Dancing Clown. Like I said, all of this sounds confusing, so if you want to know about the lore of Pennywise or the Deadlights, I highly suggest checking out a video. Also, Bob Gray was the father of Mrs. Kirsch in 1908. That's just a little fun fact for you. But yeah, just look up if you're really confused, just, I don't know, just look up the history of, Pennywise or the Deadlights. If you want to. We also get to have another segment, which is Richie. We get a flashback scene as we get to see young Richie get chased by a giant Paul Bunyan statue going after him. Spooky! 27 years later, Richie is still scarred for life after what happened of his, experience of seeing that giant Paul Bunyan statue after him. Apparently, a zombie Adrian Mellon decides to give Richie a card. And what does it say on the card? Well, it says this, in loving memory of Richard Tozier. Well, that's kind of scary. But clearly, Pennywise is just playing tricks with Richie, because he just is talking to him, saying that, talking about, his dirty little secret or something. Yeah, I don't really know. But what I can say is that Pennywise is literally floating on a balloons. Wow, that looks kind of satisfying and cool. But as soon as Richie opens his eyes, Pennywise literally scares him, and then Pennywise decides to have a long face just to look absolutely creepy. Oh my god. Bill is now at a shop as he sees his old bike Silver, so he wants to get his bike because he had it as, well, a teenager. But of course, Bill has to get permission for his bike from, well, the owner of the shop, played by Stephen King. Let's go! I'm glad Stephen King got to make a little cameo in this movie. Because, let me just tell you, Stephen King is just the best. Oh, and of course his character does not like the ending of Bill's book. Of course. Nobody likes the ending, which is kind of sad. But hey, maybe you'll write a better ending for your book, Bill. Also, apparently Bill finds this skateboarding kid who says that he heard, voices in, the shower or the pipes, and, kid voices. And apparently Bill says to the skateboard kid just to stay away from any clowns or Pennywises or whatever. Yeah, he's gonna listen to a crazy person like Bill. So, yeah, who knows? We get a flashback to Ben when he was a kid, who apparently got to see Beverly just being all demonic with just fire on her head. And oh my god, this effect looks absolutely cheesy, but kind of creepy at the same time. But apparently that flashback is to make Ben just very, traumatized or something. Moving on again. Jeez, how many segments there are? How, why does this movie have to be long? I mean, it's cool this movie is long, but let me tell you, it gets exhausting when you're just, reviewing this movie like this. We now get to see Eddie, who apparently is in the pharmacy as he was, of course, in his childhood, which is actually very nice. Eddie decides to go downstairs in the pharmacy because, well, I don't know, he just had, a memory of, when he encountered that, leper creeping thing. You know, the leper, that, thing from It Chapter 1. It's okay if you forgot who that was, but as a real It fan like me, I definitely remember who the leper was. But yeah, that leper basically attacks Eddie a bunch of times, just literally throwing up in his face. Ew! Oh my god, that is absolutely disgusting. Eddie then, gets stabbed in the cheek by Henry Bowers, which, I definitely feel bad for him. But as soon as Eddie hides in the bathtub and the curtains are, there, Eddie decides to stab Henry Bowers. But of course Henry Bowers survives, because that's Henry Bowers. And also Eddie survives as well, because it's just a stab in the cheek. Bill is now at the carnival because he realizes that skateboard kid, Dean the skateboard kid, is in danger of Pennywise. So apparently he's in the funhouse, and I like these little references to Tim Curry Pennywise. Also, flashing lights warning, because this is just gonna get crazy. Bill is now in this mirror maze where he does find Dean the skateboard kid, but turns out it's too late because Pennywise has his tongue on the mirror. That is absolutely gross, but yeah, that's Pennywise for you. And of course he tries to break the mirrors by smashing his head. It's a wild scene and one of my favorites too. After Pennywise shows off his cool looking teeth, it's already too late for Dean because he dies from Pennywise. Jeez, oh my god, this is such a brutal kill. We also have a Mike Hanlon fight, including Henry Bowers as well, and it's a short fight, but I guess it's pretty cool as well. Oh, apparently Henry Bowers dies from a stabbed in the head by an axe by Richie, so that's absolutely crazy. But it's also crazy that Richie froze up as well, which is absolutely disgusting. Ew. It's now nighttime, and finally the Utter Losers Club agreed to be a team so they can stop Pennywise, because they do not want any other people to die from Pennywise. So they decide to go into the Neibolt Street house just to stop him. We also get to see Stanley's head apparently in the fridge, which decapitates, which I gotta say is pretty messed up. But turns out he says he would have still been alive if it wasn't for Bill, which is just messed up as heck. Like, oh my god, just give these people a break. But I guess some, like, spider legs come out of Stan's head, which is absolutely gross. Like, oh, like, what the heck is going on? What is going on? Ugh. Are we going all the way to the thing right here? Because this is just madness. But I guess the head is now gonna go after the others, which, is pretty crazy. Ben decides to go full-on Tommy Jarvis mode on just stabbing Stanley's head a bunch of times. Like, oh my god, just chill. But I guess the head runs away. So now the other characters decide to go deep down into the sewers to find Pennywise. The others then finally make their way deep down into the sewers as they get to see Pennywise. And, like, flashing lights warning for possibly the rest of this video, because there's going to be lots of flashing lights. So yeah, we do get to see the Deadlights, Pennywise's true form, as Pennywise is just saying, every 27 years I've been, like, coming for everybody and stuff like that. You know, the usual Pennywise stuff, because that's how Pennywise is. Also, what's even cooler is that Pennywise is a spider. Wow, this is absolutely creepy and cool, not gonna lie. Cool, we get to see Pennywise's spider hand. Heck yeah! Also, apparently a bunch of them split up as Bill is in the water and stuff like that, which is just, I don't know, it's just nonsense. Yeah, I'm telling you, this is crazy because, like, a bunch of them just split up, including Ben and Beverly. Oh my god, this is just crazy. Oh, she also ends up into the bathroom. Eddie and Richie also get to find the not scary at all door, the scary door, and very scary. And they hesitate and try to find, like, to say not scary, but Richie's like, they're probably, like it's probably flipped, so they're gonna go with very scary, even if that sounds like a really bad idea. But they do open the very scary door, and guess what happens? Well, we do get to see a bunch of legs just walking, which just looks absolutely messed up. Just look at this. This is just messed up. Oh my god. Apparently we get to see a little puppy for not scary at all, which is absolutely nice. Oh, that's nice, but I don't know if I could trust this. Maybe this puppy is actually Pennywise. Yeah, probably. Because turns out this puppy turns into a monster. Oh my god! Apparently we get a scene where Bill gets to see zombie Georgie, which is just, well, crazy because it's just a lot going on. We get a scene with Ben where there is just lots of sand around him. Oh, and of course Pennywise just mocks Ben, just calling him a fat loser. Oh my god, why are you being so mean, Pennywise? Oh, and apparently, Beverly is just, like, drowning in blood. This is a lot going on. Oh, and of course we get to see Beverly's abusive dad just talking to her and stuff like that. Oh my god, this is just a lot. But eventually these characters get saved. Let's go! The Losers Club finally reunite to whatever they're experiencing, and now they finally get to bully Pennywise because that's one of the ways to finally stop Pennywise. Or so they think. But yeah, they basically bully Pennywise, just insulting him, calling him just, like, bad names, like he's a bad witch, he's just, like, a bad, like, mummy, a bad leper, a bad, like, whatever you want to call it, because it's just, like, all crazy. It's just like, oh my god, they're just basically insulting Pennywise. Man, this is just absolutely crazy. Now Pennywise is just fully freaking out now, just literally shrinking as his hair is just falling out and stuff like that. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, just a lot is happening. Oh my god, and Richie is literally ripping off his arm as well. This is crazy. Eventually, Pennywise shrinks and his hair disappears until he turns into like a little baby pancake. Oh my god. And of course, after all of that, we just gotta get one last scare from Pennywise. There you go! Pennywise then basically cries, and then, well, Mike literally is in his chest just grabbing out his heart, which is just so insane. Yeah, I remember watching this scene and I was like, oh my god, what is going on? But this is kind of cool. Well, at least in my opinion, even if it's so crazy. But of course, Pennywise says to them, you're all grown up. And then they basically crush the heart, which is pretty much the death of Pennywise. OMG. Wow. So yeah, that's pretty much the death of Pennywise. The Deadlights, whatever you want to call it, is dead. So yeah, that's pretty much the end of Pennywise. Wow. It's also too late for Eddie, too, because after all that fighting, Eddie has also been literally stabbed by Pennywise with his spider claw. So yeah, it's pretty much the death of Eddie. This is such a sad moment. I am so sad that Eddie died in this movie. This is so heartbreaking, oh my god! The Loser Club members then finally escape the sewers, including the Neibolt house, and then that house finally disappears. Huh, I wonder what the neighbors think about all of this. But yeah, basically a bunch of the Losers Club members finally get to relax and just, like, is still a little sad after what happened to Eddie. It's a nice scene. Bill also gets to read a letter about why Stan died, and Stan says, like, Stan wrote a letter to, like, all the Losers Club member saying that he died because he was just too scared, but he knew that most of the Losers Club would probably eventually kill Pennywise. Well, I don't know, but it's a nice moment because it proves that Stan was afraid of Pennywise, but he did die anyway, so yeah. But I guess it's nice. Eventually, I mean, it's good that Bill gets to read the letter, so yeah, I'm happy that Bill is having a happy life now. Hopefully you can write a better ending for your book, which I think he will. And of course, Beverly and Ben are having a good life as well. That's really nice. Oh, you got a little dog there, too. Oh, that's nice. Richie is still depressed of what happened to Eddie, but he'll be okay, because at least he gets to have a happy life as well. And for Mike Hanlon, he finally gets to leave Derry, so he doesn't have to worry about anything else. Or so he thinks. And that is the end of Chapter 2. Oh my god! So yeah, that was basically the end of me reviewing It Chapter 2. Oh my god, I felt like my head was literally about to explode. But not literally. But oh my god, like seriously, that was just a lot of work for a 2 hours and 49-minute movie. I put in all my effort for that. That was just a lot of work. So yeah, but I still had a fun time making this movie review. It was hard to do, but I finally did it. Man, that was so hard. But yeah, oh my god, this movie is just absolutely crazy. And yes, I do like this movie because it's just cool seeing the Losers Club go against Pennywise and all. It has a bunch of long scenes, and yeah, it's just a very insane long movie. So yeah, if you ever want to watch like a very long movie, then I guess you could see this movie or the miniseries if you wanted to watch part 1 and 2 combined, since the miniseries is like a 3-hour something like that. But yeah, oh my god. Oh my god. That was just a lot. That was just a lot of work. But I did it. I actually did it. So, yeah, that's the end of me reviewing this movie. And yes, I will also review the prequel show called It Welcome to Derry. I don't know when I'm going to review that, because it will probably be my first TV show movie review, most likely. It might be a little hard to review it, since it's like a TV show, so I might have to do different parts of the show, like part 1 or part 2. The Welcome to Derry movie review, show review, that should come out in, like, maybe February, or in the summertime, July or August, because I just need to find the right time to do that. But I should do Welcome to Derry show review, or TV show review eventually. But yeah, I just need a break after reviewing this movie, because this movie is just insane. So yeah, anyways, I got to review your 2 hour and 49-minute movie. How does that make you feel? Oh, well, that just makes me feel so happy. You're just absolutely crazy, you know that? I know. I am crazy. I actually can't believe you got to review that movie. Are you tired or so? Yes, I kind of am tired of reviewing this, even if I did have a fun time. Or maybe I should eat you for lunch. No, I don't think that's a good idea, Pennywise. Just, yeah. Fine, I guess I'll give you a chance. But whenever you review It's Welcome to Derry, I will be here. Yeah, It's Welcome to Derry is a really interesting prequel to the movie, so I can't wait to review that movie whenever I get the chance. Yes, well, I'm just gonna go hibernate, I guess. See you soon. Okay, well, yeah. Alright, I'll see you guys in the next movie review. Bye.